This episode is really fun because I'm asking them, if you could go back in time, what would you change? I think some of us look back on our careers and go, if I could have just changed this one thing. And that's the beautiful thing. Once you start getting into teaching an audience, share your mistakes, show them how they can get to where you are faster. I know that's one of the things I do every single week in the Visibility Lounge, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that after this episode.
All right, so for question number 2, if you could go back in time, what would you focus on instead, or were you very happy with the strategy you used? Jill?
I would, similar to what Emily was talking about, I would 100% have started a Facebook group earlier, because once we finally got around to it, it was 2 years after we had started our brand, and I had been sitting on the idea for at least a good 6 months by that point. And it was the one thing at that time, which is like 2015, so 2 years into our business, that really got our name out there. It built up to over 45,000 people. It was our main source of marketing, list building, sales. And so if I had to do it all over again, I 100% would have started a group straight away and started building that community, even though then I shut it down. But like, I would have started there in the beginning.
Absolutely. It's such a great way to connect with your people, and free advertising. Holla. Anyone else? Emily?
Yeah, I mean, my methods worked really well, thankfully, with the Facebook group in the beginning, but I think that everybody can put themselves out there a little bit more earlier. Like, you're always so afraid to do that. So I definitely would have like gone on video or done my own thing on channels earlier than I did. I just didn't know like how, or it was scary. I remember my first Facebook Live was like so scary. So I waited forever for that stuff. But so if I had to go back, I'd add that in. But my Facebook group and connecting with people and groups worked really well.
Fantastic. Ross?
Yeah, actually, one of the things I did do was I did start a Facebook group. So I started posting on my Facebook personal page. The Facebook business pages were kind of like no organic reach on there already. But Facebook was kind of a big deal. Instagram wasn't, it was new. I was teaching people how to do Instagram actually. But Facebook groups were huge for me. And yeah, just like what Emily was saying, I think a lot of times what people do in the beginning is they don't let people know that they actually have an offer. They post a lot of content and they do a lot of things, but they keep their offer a secret because they're scared to talk about it. So if anyone's out there, don't keep your offer a secret. I definitely did that in the beginning. I could have talked about it more, but the Facebook groups were definitely a big thing for me. And yeah, that was what I did.
Awesome. Jen?
I showed up early with a Facebook group, and I would jump on and do Facebook Lives, which I still do and love. And I would start to build some momentum. And then if I made an offer and nobody was into it, I would be sort of deflated and then stop showing up for a little bit because I felt like frustrated with my audience, kind of mad at them. Like, you show up for my free stuff, and when I offer you something that I know can really help you and you don't take me up on it, it's like, where'd you go? So I realized that I had some starts and stops with showing up and being consistent. And it's like, if you want to continue to build the momentum, you have to show up. Like, whatever you agree to do with yourself, if it's blogging, once a week, or doing a Facebook Live once a week, dropping a YouTube video with a consistency, or, the podcast, if you have something that you're committed to at least once a week, if you don't show up, and also with your email, if you're building that list, people come to expect that you're going to send something to them, and you start to build momentum with it. And if you stop, then it's kind of like all of that goodwill and that sort of snowball effect stops as well. So I wish that I had been more consistent with doing the medium that I liked, which was Facebook Live, and just continue to show up live, even when I was frustrated, even when I felt like my audience was, never gonna pay me for any of my offers, which, has changed. But in the beginning, it was hard.
Mm-hmm. I hear that. I was afraid to email my list in the beginning, so I did nothing for 6 months. Big mistake. I was so terrified to hit send that I was like, no, rejection. Ridiculous, but we all have our blockages.
Yeah.
Michael.
Ooh, yes. Okay. So if I could go back in time, which I think we will be able to do at some point. I think time machines will be a thing at some point. I just think so. But that's a different show.
We'll do that
when
next.
that happens, and when I go back in time, I would have really focused on developing my brand first and foremost. So, the reason why I'll call it my first venture 4 years ago, kind of flopped was because I didn't really build up the brand. I just put something out there that I knew I could help people with. And that's really cool. And that should be a thing 100%. But I didn't really build up the brand for myself. Like I didn't understand really all of what I could bring to the table. I was bringing a piece of it. So I was playing small. 2, I didn't really understand my audience. So I just put out something that I thought would help them. It did kind of, but it could have been bigger. Ross 100% talked about the offer. I didn't get really clear on my offer. And again, it just kind of stayed this small thing. It could have been this amazing thing, which I feel like it is now. I could have gotten really clear on the results that I was getting as an individual. I could have been clear on the results that my clients were getting, and all of that stuff. It was wishy-washy, and therefore the results were kind of the same. I really, really wish I would have gone back and really dove into my brand, how I do it now, because I think that would have changed the game a lot sooner. So that's what I would have done 100%.
So key. Branding is so key. And you know me and my color psychology, so I love all of it. But interesting themes. Have you picked up on those listeners that they've been talking about consistency, getting more visible on live streams, getting their group created earlier so that they could build up that tribe mentality and being more visible with their offers. So if you're struggling in any of those areas, those are some ideas to get you started. In the meantime, let's move on to question 3.
What I noticed the most about this episode was the emphasis on getting clearer on what you can offer and voicing your actual offer, what you sell. We tend to keep that too much of a secret. I think that was a great point in this episode to talk about it more. If you've been struggling with how to put your funnel together, how to really dive into marketing strategically, how to build your signature show or visibility vehicle, you can look no further than the Visibility Lounge. That is my monthly membership. We focus on turning you from an entrepreneur into an influencer, getting that revenue, making that impact that you want to make. I'll be opening the doors to my membership in just a few weeks, so I would love if you went to visibilityvixen.com/visibility lounge and put your email on the waiting list. That way you can be the first to know when the doors are open. They're only going to be open for a week, and I don't want you to miss out. In the meantime, are we having fun hearing from people that are just incredible entrepreneurs in this space, like Jill Stanton, Michael Marcial, Ross Johnson, Emily Hirsh, Jen Berson? It's just been so much fun, and I've been having a blast. We're just getting started, so tune in to the next episode.